Welcome, everybody. Ready just in time this evening, which is better than being late. How are y'all doing? My name is Stuart Davis, flawed man of God. A flawed man of God. Not the flawed man of God, because I'm not the only one, but I definitely am a flawed man of God. I am a humble parishioner at a small church just outside of Richmond, Virginia. Not a pastor, not a biblical scholar, haven't been to seminary. Not trying to get you to join my church or donate to any special cause. Just want to talk about God, talk about Jesus, talk about the Holy Spirit, talk about the Bible, talk about Christianity, talk about a wide variety of different issues, topics, and current events, and give you my perspective on them, one that I think is reflective of your average Christian guy. Been a Christian all my life, 41 years, non denominational Protestant. Won't subscribe to any particular denomination or doctrine. I'm just in the word daily, trying to do it better each and every day. Sometimes I'll get it right, often I'll get it wrong. But no matter what you're going to be getting from me, if you're listening to me, if you're watching this stream, is my honest take on whatever it is we're talking about. So, if you're somebody who's new to Christianity, or maybe you're not a Christian, but you're trying to, you feel drawn to it, you feel like you're missing something, and you think Christianity might be the answer.
It is.
But you think it might be the answer, and you're looking everywhere. Maybe the internet guided you to this little spot, this little corner, um, and you're looking for something that's more than just a flashy social media presentation from some much more popular person than me, but you want something that's more down to earth, something that's less contrived and more maybe authentic, maybe just average or amateur, as I like to say, um, than what you see on there. Maybe you don't feel comfortable putting your trust in a pastor because you think that, that's their job, right? And if they don't bring people in, they're not going to get paid, right? You think that the incentive is there for them, and that maybe clouds your judgment on whether they can be objective or honest brokers of what Christianity is. You don't want to hear it up there. Maybe you want to hear it from somebody who partakes, somebody who has been in Christianity a long time, who can talk to you and say, "Hey, look, this is what I've experienced. This is what I've gotten out of it, and this is what it means to me." And if that's what you're looking for, by all means, pull up a chair, get comfortable, and I think you'll like it here. Like the episode if you like it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to get more episodes, and click the notification bell if you want to be updated when we stream, which is most days of the week. I'm sorry, most weekdays. Most weekdays, but right now Mondays are off because of church softball, and Fridays are time with my It's time with my family. But normally, Monday through Thursday at least, we stream Eastern time, 8:35 in the evenings, and we talk about the Bible, and we talk about all the things that I just discussed earlier in the intro. And we'd love to have you join us. If you are already a Christian and you just enjoy Christian topics and discussions, welcome as well. You'll find we run this very similar to a Wednesday night study group or a Sunday school. It's very small group oriented, and we care about the people who are listening, the people who are partaking in all this, and that includes you. And with that said, whether you were brand new to the faith, searching it out, or you are more mature in the faith than I am and smarter, more well read, or somewhere in between, doesn't matter. Get in the chat. We got a great group of folks who are filing in as we speak, who tune in and night out, and they make this show better. And we'd love for you to be part of that. They would like for you to be part of that. They keep me honest. They make fun of me, which they should. But would love you to join in. Give me your opinion on what you're seeing, right? What do you agree with or disagree with? Where am I right or wrong? What is it that we're talking about that maybe you have a unique insight, knowledge, experience, anything. Tell us what's on your mind and ask questions. I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, I'm going to be able to give you answers to everything." But voicing those questions is the first step in getting them answered. And maybe I don't know the answer to it, but maybe I can point you in the right direction. Maybe somebody in the chat knows. But again, this whole intro is a welcome for you, and also a way for me to get in the rhythm of things. And so, without further ado, we can get into this show proper. Last night we got off topic, and I'm not complaining about that. It was great. Actually, part of what was happening was I was very drowsy last night, and I want to apologize first to God for reading the psalm drowsy and not bringing my A game to it on one of the longest psalm or the longest psalm we've read so far, and apologize to you guys that it was just there were times where I was just zoning out and what happens a lot of times when I'm drowsy and trying to do something, my mind drifts off and it goes into super ADHD mode where I'm literally daydreaming while I'm talking. And I felt like that happened several times. And you guys I want to do better than that. Um and I'm not getting too much on myself, but because I understand that's just where my headspace was at. And aside from saying, "Hey guys, I'm going to take a quick 20-minute nap and come back and do this," which I wasn't going to be able to do anyway, as it turned out. But you know, try to avoid that stuff. Try to avoid that stuff in the future. The baby last night was teething, and so I went to go help the wife with getting the wee baby, uh, back back to bed, with some children's Tylenol and a warm bottle of milk, which man, that might have made me even drowsier. But actually, I came back from that refreshed, got on to fellow chat member Blaine and his channel, Blaine's Escape Corner, got on there for a little bit and also zoned out. But I had a great talk with you guys once we got off topic. It kind of gave me a second wind to what we were doing. And so tonight we're going to read the other two Psalms, but I'm going to go back through. I'm going to start from the beginning. I'm not reading the thing. I'm not going to read the whole thing over. Well, I kind of am because we're going to read through it. I'm going to go through and talk to it. So it's going to be a little bit of a rehash because I know we got a few ways down, a few sections down, but now with a fresh mind, well, fresh-ish, been working all day. But a non-drowsy me hanging in there and giving you my takes on things. So Jenny ELJ first in the chat once again. How are you doing, ma'am? Good to have you here. Thad the man following up. Hello, sir. Alias, long time no see, buddy. Glad to see you here. Not quite so long time no see is the Carl we know and love. What's going on? Wondering if I always talk about the weather when Carl is here because he's in the same state as me. Maybe the warm weather is here to stay, but Carl, good to have you in here. Texan Italian, hey y'all, haven't seen you pop in a bit. Not again, because Alias I haven't seen in a while. Carl's been a couple of weeks. Texan Italian, I think it's been like a week, maybe a week and a half. Dresden's here. Dresden's here all the time. Don't call it a comeback. He's been here all along. How's it going, buddy? Jenny OJ said, "Okay, it's okay. It happens." Yeah, I realize, and that's kind of how I realize. If I'm feeling sick, I'm not going to stream. But the but I understand that I'm gonna have night, and I recognize that nights where I'm streaming and we're talking about stuff and everything's clicking. I'm firing off, and at the end of the stream, when I click end stream, I feel like I've just had an amazing show. And other shows feel like I'm low energy on it, or I'm not. I'm kind of waffling through things. I'm not an expert here. Um, I'm not a professional streamer. I'm not a professional or I'm not even an amateur theologian. Um, I'm not a pastor. That's kind of how I try to open things up in the beginning. Um, I'm giving you what I'm taking away from this. You might take something else away from this, but that's also part of why I said, "Hey, put it in the chat." Um, I don't know. I don't. I don't know everything, but I'd love to hear any type of other of view saying, "Hey, this is how I'm reading it." I'm not going to chastise you for that. Unless you go way okay, so you go way off the deep end. I might have to just yank you back and be like, "Hey, sanity, guardrails." But, yeah, and so I'm gonna have good days, I'm gonna have off days, I'm gonna have okay days. Alex Morris, "Hey, what's going on? Nice. Are we reading already?" No. Getting ready to. Getting ready to. Lucifer Evenstar, what's going on? Hello. Hey, what's the difference between a god and a good god? Is I don't care. All I care about is the God. But I don't know. What's the difference? Let me know. Thad said, I checked out that Nala Ray video interview. Let's say I'm skeptical. Skepticism is okay, but prayer also necessary. I think that, and I haven't watched it, and I'm probably not going to watch it, but the prayer will, the prayer will be listened to regardless. Um, that she finds savior in stop it, Lucy. Two O's. I should have figured that out. I'm too much of a dad to let that one slip by. um the I hope she's sincere, even if it doesn't come across, maybe even if it might come across to many as not sincere. That's a weird space to be in. um we don't know what her home life growing up was like. Um, you kind of wonder what drives a person, what drives a lady, especially, because my mind's wired like a dude, right? I had a very dude-like upbringing, and I wasn't because I didn't have any sisters or any girl cousins or much of anything in the way of female companionship when I was younger. Um, I miss a lot of what is going on up here with ladies, um, and don't always understand their you know life through their eyes, or y'all, and or if I'm talking to Jenny, life through y'all's eyes. But I know that there's a lot of times with folks who with women especially who are into porn or doing porn and doing this OnlyFans stuff. Um, a lot of times there's a significant broken home that they're coming from. Not always, not always. And is that an excuse? No. But sometimes the lack of having a normal environment to exist in makes people not makes people act in ways that are socially awkward and not normal. So, I don't know if that's what you were getting at it, that she just is weird. Um, or if she may have just sounded insincere, who knows? But let's hope and pray that she is sincere, and if she's not, that somehow it ends up being she ends up wandering into being sincere and does take it seriously. It's that is a toxic space to be in, and we want everybody out of it. We want everybody out of it, and it's better to be supportive of folks when they are at least making attempts to get out of it, because if you leave them in there, what did we accomplish, right? So that's my piece on it. If it blows up anymore, maybe I'll talk about it some more. But that's where I'm going to leave it. And there we go. Jenny says, "Nice. I have zero sisters, only brothers." Well, yeah, but you also have your experience too. So that's just what it is. That's why. So my final digression. Sorry, Alex. My final digression was this is what happened when my oldest daughter was born. I had a we were if she was gonna we were waiting to find out when she was born whether we were gonna have a son or a daughter. And I had a sneak, and I didn't care one way or another, but I just kind of felt like in the back of my mind it was gonna be another boy. And so when she was born and she comes out, it's like, "Hey, it's a girl." And I'm like, "Cool, awesome, I got a daughter." I have no idea what I'm doing. Zero idea. And so I lean a lot on my wife for insights on things to better because I don't treat her the same way as my son. They're both I both keep them I keep both of them disciplined and everything, but my approach is a little bit different. So I'm learning. But that's one of the things, and that's kind of what I tell her because now she's the middle child. I tell her like your experience my experience with you is always going to be unique. My eldest, my son has the benefit of being the first kid. He's the first at everything, right? Except for she's my first daughter. And while my son is like a carbon copy image of me from how I acted from that age up, only less violent. He's less violent. I was a very violent kid. Um, but so much of his mannerisms and everything are the same that it's like raising me. With her, everything is brand new because I've never had a daughter, right? I never had a daughter, so she was my first daughter. Um, the whole experience of being around a female who is related to me but not my wife is new, and trying to grow this child and in a way that um is wholesome and good. Everything is new. Long hair, um hygiene, feelings and emotions. All that stuff is different. Physical play. What is she into? My son plays soccer. She does dance. And I never was in dance class, right? So everything is new. And so I tell her that. I was like, you are never going to be forgotten. So much of you is new and interesting. And it is a learning experience. And I appreciate and that is such an appreciation that I have for it. Plus the fact I love her to death. She's my daughter. But it's I get she was the youngest for so long and now she's not anymore. And so, you worry that maybe she feels like um she's going to be left out because the new baby isn't a boy, it's a girl. And she loves her to death, but I feel like she's sometimes worries that and now she's not as special anymore. She is very special. She's very special to me. And while parents understand that and adults are understand that, that's sometimes difficult for a kid. So anyway, Lucy said, "What I'm most afraid of is that if the same thing that has happened to the entertainment industry is going to happen to the church if we are not vigilant enough." That Lucy, that's already happened in a lot of church. Just look at mega churches. Look at Kenneth Copeland. Look at um, crap. Who's the guy with the uh, $1 million smile? I can't think of his name now. Joel Osteen. Um, you can see corruption in the Southern Baptist Convention. The Episcopal Church and the ELCA have completely given into worldly hedonism and self mutilation. That kind of stuff is pervasive in there. You have to be. We have not been vigilant enough, and we have not taken safeguarding, gatekeeping, or safeguarding and gatekeeping our church enough. And that's not unique to any denomination. Yeah, you can argue that the Orthodox Church has done the best job, but that's mostly due to they cling tighter to tradition than even the Catholics do. But they've still got issues with it. They're not perfect. There are liberal and or I should say liberal, progressive and worldly um, viewpoints that are have pervaded, some of their circles. They pretend like I should say they shouldn't say they because a lot of them are honest, but the online collective generally pretends that that doesn't exist. That's a that's an easy way uh to get ambushed. So it's good to be afraid of this. It's good to take it seriously. So what it is, be vigilant in your local church. The best way to start is be vigilant in your local church and be vocal about it. It doesn't always work out. Happened to me. It doesn't always work out in your favor, but you got to do what you can. That said, I'm glad that you waited till birth to find out the sex. Yeah, we were gonna do that with my son, but I told my wife she's way too type A to do that. She was so busy planning. Just let the just find out, and we'll do it for the next baby. And then we had so many with the miscarriages with my youngest. We just said, let's find out. Let's just find out. The less anxiety, the better, especially for a very anxious mommy to be. So, without digressions aside, Alex, we will get into things. So last night we went through 176 verse Psalm. That is Psalm 119, and very interesting in how we went through it, or how it's kind of divided up. We see what looks like alphabetical. I don't know. I don't know this language. Somebody else might know it. I'm kind of a Luddite when it comes to languages. I know it's not Espanol. I know it's not French. I know it's not Cyrillic. I know it's not Welsh, but I don't know what it is. So it's probably not a Mandarin or Japanese. So, but we read through it already. So now we're going to go through it and kind of read how it strikes us, or I'm going to read through it and talk about how it strikes me. You guys comment where you guys want to. That's what I'm thinking, Thad. That's what I'm thinking. First part was the best or the undefiled in the way who walk in the Lord. It's talking about righteousness, keeping yourself as pure as possible. He said undefiled. Nobody's perfect. Nobody is completely undefiled except for Christ, obviously. But if you live a life, the less, the less, the less sin you allow into your life, into into yourself. This is the more pure you are, and this is kind of the more blessed you are. Blessed are those who are undefiled in the way, who walk the law in the Lord. Blessed are those who keep his testimonies, seek him with whole heart, do no iniquity. They walk in his ways. Keep your precepts diligently. What are you doing when you're living a pure life free of sin? Is obedience. It's obedience. Doesn't and that's not taking the love out of that, because love is part of that obedience. It's part of that, just that natural desire to obey. You're not doing it out of duty. You're doing it out of love. At least I think you should be. I mean, that's how I do it. Well, why do you act X way, Stuart? Well, because God commands it, and I want to be dutiful. I want to do this because that desire, that love that I feel for God, for his creation, makes me want to be obedient. And sin pulls me away from that. My sins. Other sins I don't commit, I don't, obviously. But the sins I commit pull me away from that. So the more I block that out, the more I'm able to focus on this. Oh, that my ways were directed to keep your statutes, and then I would not be ashamed. This is kind of saying, I wish I could be better. And we should all kind of take this to heart. Oh, that my ways were directed to keep your statutes, then I would not be ashamed when I look into all your commandments. I will praise you with the upright rightness of heart. I will learn of your righteous judgment. I will keep your statutes. You are just and you are fair and you are honorable and good. God, it is when we read through scripture, that should be what you get out of it. You should be understanding why what he says makes sense. What about the 10 commandments do you find objectionable? And maybe you don't understand all the commandments that are in the Pentateuch, the book of or the Mosaic, the Mosaic law. Maybe you don't, but you should trust and have faith that it's the right thing. And some of them you probably, oh yeah, I get why. Next one. How can a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed. What's going on, Veritex? Um, this almost sounds like advice to a young person, right? You want to live a life with God, or life with God as your main focus. I'm reviewing from where I was kind of sleepwalking last night through it. Um, this is the advice from me, the older gentleman, to the young kid who's looking to live a good life, and honor God. How can a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed through to your according to your word. Listen to God. My whole heart I had sought you. Let me not wander from your commandments. Be obedient. Your word I have hidden in my heart that I might not sin against you. There we go. That's self-explanatory. Blessed are you, O Lord. Teach me your statutes. Listen to what God says. Listen, not just like listen as in do what God says, but listen. Listen. Teach me your statutes. With my lips I have declared all the judgments of your mouth. I've rejoiced in the way of your testimonies. Find joy in it. As much as in all riches, I will meditate on your precepts. Study it and contemplate your ways. I will delight myself in your statutes and will not forget your word. Remember. That means practice and constant. What did Lucy say earlier? Vigilance. Vigilance. Practice the fundamentals. Keep the fundamentals fundamental. I like when people say, "Oh, you're just a fundamentalist." Well, shouldn't you try to be? Right? Do you want to water it down? Do you want to water Christianity down? What are the fundamentals of our faith? We should all be fundamentalists in that aspect. Do what we're supposed to do because we desire to do it. Deal bountifully with your servant that I may we live and keep your word. Bless me, God, because I want to spread the joy that is your word. This is almost evangelistic, right? I may live and keep your word. Do what you say. Do what you want me to do. Wondrous things from your law, or open my eyes that I might see. I'm a stranger in the earth. Do not hide your commandments from me. Help guide me, God. This is me praying. This is what I'm getting out of this. This is me praying to say, hey, show me the way. Help teach me. Bite me on the head if you need to, or gently guide me. Do what needs to be done to get my attention and to get it across in a way that I can understand, which he knows because he's God. My soul breaks with longing for your judgment at all times. You rebuke the proud, the cursed, who stray from your commandments. Remove me from reproach and contempt, for I have kept your testimonies. I'm not like that, God. I have not acted like that, and I know that I'm not perfect, but I have tried what I can to keep your testimonies. Princes also sit and speak against me, but your servant meditates on your statutes. Even when folks ridicule me for what I'm doing what I'm supposed to. This kind of reminds me of Mordecai in Ruth. No, Esther in Esther. Your testimonies are your testimonies also are my delight and my counselors. When I am confused and I don't know what to do, I seek out your word, because in word is there truth. There's truth and wisdom. My soul clings to the dust. Revive me according to your word. I've I'm dead inside, or maybe I'm down and out, and I need you to bring me up, or I'm dead inside, dead to sin. I need you to revive me. Very much baptismal. Uh, Vertex. That almost sounded like Pinky Dinky Doo. What? What did? Um, there's a very Baptist theme here, at least at the beginning. I've declared my ways, and you have answered me. Teach me your statutes. I know that I can reach out to you. So teach me. You shall make me understand the way of your precepts, so I shall meditate on your wonderful works. My soul melts from heaviness. Strengthen me according to your word. It's interesting visuals. The interesting statement there. My soul melts from heaviness, from sin. It's destroying him. Strengthen me. Help me resist it. Help me carry that load and that burden. Remove from me the way of lying, and grant me your law graciously. I've chosen the way of truth. Your judgments I have laid before me. I'm expressing a desire to do the right thing, but I can't do it alone. Your judgments I have laid before me. I cling to your testimonies. O Lord, do not push me to shame. I will run the course of your commandments, and you shall enlarge my heart. There's a lot of repentance here. There's a lot of desire to do good. There's a lot of pleading. God, I know I'm not great, but if you find it in your heart to look past that, I do want to serve you. I do want to be obedient. And again, that's kind of a repeating theme throughout all of these, but it's also been a repeating theme throughout all the Psalms that we've read through. Teach me, O Lord, the way of your statutes. See, again, this is teaching me. This is show me, explain it, help me understand it. Because if I can understand it, I can better apply it. If I can better apply it, I'm living a better life the way that you want me to. Teach me, and I shall keep it to the end. Give me understanding, and I shall keep your law. Indeed, I shall observe it with my whole heart. This is heavy promises. I would be God, I'm going to try my best. I don't know if I'm going to be able to come through, but I'm going to try my best. But there's something to be said for going all in and being sincerely wanting to expect righteousness out of yourself. Not that what you do is going to be righteous, but that you're going to work hard and achieve righteousness in all things that you do. I think that that's a respectful way to approach God, to be like, no, I'm not to say I'm just going to try. This is what I'm going to do because that's what you ask, or that's what you have told us we need to do, so I'm going to do what you say. Like if I ask my son, look, I need you to go mow the lawn. You need to mow the whole lawn. And he says, I'm going to try, but I might be tired. I might give up halfway, or I might not do it all that great. But you asked me to, so I'm gonna give it the old college try. That's how my response sounds. The response here that this is yes, sir. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get it done. Make me walk in the path of it. But I need you to teach me how to turn it on. I need you to show me how to run it, and um how should I approach cutting the grass? Like, is there a specific direction I need to go in? That which is good. You want somebody when you ask somebody to do something, you want them to ask questions for clarification. How do I do this the way you want me to? Turn away my eyes from looking at worthless things and revive me in your way. Establish your word to your servant who is devoted to fearing you. Turn away my reproach, which I dread, for your judgments are good. Behold, I long for your precepts. Revive me. Talks about reviving again, just like in the previous section. Revive me in your righteousness. Still getting some Baptist or baptizing, still getting some baptizing themes here. Revive me in your righteousness. Let your mercies come also to me, O Lord, your salvation according to your word. This is more I expect salvation from you, God, because that's just kind of what you've said you're going to do, because we know that we have iniquities. So I shall have an answer for him who reproaches me, for I trust in your word. I have faith, and take not the word of truth utterly out of my mouth, for I have hoped in your ordinances. So I shall keep your law continually. I believe in what you're saying. I believe that what you're saying is right. And so I'm going to obey forever and ever. That's what it says, forever and ever. And I will walk at liberty, for I seek your precepts. I will speak of your testimonies also before kings and not be ashamed. I will delight myself in your commandments, which I love. My hands I will also lift up, which I love, and I will meditate on your statutes. I am going to talk about you to anybody, even kings who think, look, think about this. Kings have God complexes, and that's not even the kings that think they're actually gods. And there are definitely those out there today. They're like, yeah, you might think you're a god, but you're not. This is somebody who is unafraid to put a power or to worship somebody, a being that is beyond kings, and not afraid to tell the kings that. Delight myself in the commandments. I love them. This is what we're talking about: faith, love, obedience. They all coalesce around each other. Remember the word to your servant, upon which you have caused me to hope. That is my comfort in my affliction, for your word has given me life. The proud have given me the proud have me in great derision, yet I do not turn aside from your law. I have hope in you, and though people berate me, this could be even getting beaten or abused in many different ways. We're being just oppressed as a culture, right? Does not matter. I take comfort in the fact that those things have done, or those things have happened. Take comfort in that. And even though it's going on, I'm not going to change my ways. I'm not going to abandon you, Lord. I remember. Memory is quite an important thing. We heard about that from Moses, especially, and David, and everybody. Remember what God has done for us. Remember those things. Remember what God has commanded of us. Remember what God has established in a covenant with us. Remember these things. It's important because it kind of reminds you that God is God, that He's done these things. If He can do those things, and if He can do, we believe that He can do anything. He can save you. He can save little old you. Because the wicked, indignation has taken hold of me, because the wicked who forsake your law, your statutes have been my songs. In the house of my pilgrimage, I remember your name in the night, O Lord, and keep your law. This has become mine because I keep your precepts. Your commandments are my commandments. I remember your name in the night, O Lord. I wonder if that is kind of like, hey, the kind of all the, I don't know if you guys are like me, but prayer times at night, drifting off to sleep, conversations with God, and things that we worry about, things that cause us anxiety and fear. I remember your name. Remember God when you are in the midst of anxiety or despair or depression. You are my portion, O Lord. I have said that I would keep your words. I entreated your favor with my whole heart. Be merciful to me according to your word. I love you a lot, God, so please bless me. Please be merciful to me. I know I screw up, but I care. I really do. I thought about my ways and turned my feet to your testimonies. I made haste and did not delay to keep your commandments. Playing coming in all the way off topic. The Rock is now the second wrestler to headline WrestleMania across 4 decades. We were talking about that yesterday. Oh, also, Blaine, the only way to prepare steak is on cast iron. Cast iron skillet, cast iron griddle. I guess you can grill them, but top tier steaks, iron. Iron. Give me any of that other mess. And no, I know that I don't think woks are made out of iron. Or are they? I don't know. Whatever. Um, Ceramic coated. I haven't done that. We've got I don't know if our cast iron. I don't think our cast iron skillet is ceramic coated. I use stainless with compound butters, cast for most of the time. Yeah, cast iron, lots of butter. They are workouts. Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, I've never picked one up because I know that they're heavy as heavy as crap, or they would be. um, I thought about my ways and turned my feet to your testimonies. I paid attention. I made haste and did not delay to keep your commandments. I ran to do what you said when I decided, and when I decided that I was going to put my faith into you. I didn't delay. I didn't procrastinate. I didn't put it off. But the cords of the wicked have bound me, but I have not forgotten your law. And at midnight I will rise to give thanks to you because of your righteous judgments. I am a companion of all who fear you and of those who keep your precepts. The earth, your Lord, is full of your mercy. Teach me your statutes. Again, teach me your statutes. We see that complete because I kept your precepts. There's so much in this psalm about understanding what loving God, believing in God, having faith, obeying, and again, it's there. That's all three, and there's so much of Christianity and faith that, or there's so much about Christianity that revolves around obedience, love, faith. And a lot of people take obedience and faith, and they leave out the love part. And other people take faith and love, and they don't think about the obedience. Faith and love and forgetting the obedience will take you anywhere far away from God. It can take you all sorts of weird places. Obedience and faith can make you do very cruel things. You need all three and other things as well, I'm sure. But when I'm what I'm um, pulling out of these verses, and when I reflecting on faith in general, reflecting on my belief in God, though that's what stands out to me. Minus carbon stealing's bad enough. Bro, do you even lift? You have dealt well with your servant, O Lord, according to your word. Teach me good judgment and knowledge, for I believe your commandments. Before I was afflicted, I went astray. When he says afflicted, he's talking about um, before I was afflicted with faith, before I was afflicted with belief and desire to do good, to obey and love you. That affliction. But he says it in a positive way. Before I was afflicted, I went astray, but now I keep your word. You are good and do good. Teach me your statutes. Teach me your statutes. Teach me. The proud have forged a lie against me, but I will keep your precepts with my whole heart. Their heart is as fat as grease, but I delight in your law. It is good for me that I've been afflicted, as Veritex is saying, that I've been afflicted, and I may learn your statutes. The law of your mouth is better to me than thousands of coins of gold and silver. Tell that to Judas. And I think I said that last night. Feel like I remember saying that last night at some point. When your stir fry is only beef, it adds up, dude. You don't put like noodles or anything in there? Dude, noodles and beef in a stir fry. I don't like baby. My big problem with stir fry was with most stir fry, it has baby corn in it. I cannot stand baby corn. And a lot of it has too much soy sauce in it. Oh, carnivore diet. Let's just say, isn't that just another way of doing the Atkins no carb, whatever? Is it all part of that same mentality? Tell you what, meat's going to cost a lot of many thousands of coins of gold and silver. Groceries going up. Your hands have made me and fashioned me. Give me understanding that I may learn your commandments. Again, learn, teach me, God. This is stuff that we should be praying for all the time. And many of you probably are. If you're not, I would advise you to. You pray, be like, difficult for me. So when I praying to God, I'm like, look, I don't necessarily pray that, you know, I don't necessarily like. We'll talk about Blaine, for example, because Blaine's pretty open about this. I could say, God, please be with Blaine and bless him with a successful and great business in um, in having a food trailer, because it's something he's wanted for a long time. It's something he's been working hard to do. Whatever, right? I want Blaine to be blessed in that. And while I want that to happen, what I pray for is God guide Blaine through this um, season that he's working for, as he's striving to get through, inspections and preparing the truck and finding venues and doing whatever. Um, do what you know will help him do the most good as a Christian. And maybe that means Maybe that means he fails in what he's doing or what he sets out to do. But maybe that failure sets him on a path, or maybe just moderate success provides him other opportunities to put him in a better place in his faith and a better place where he can better be an influence on his family, stuff like that. That's what I want as well. And what do I want more? Well, I want Blaine's righteousness more. So that's what I'm going to pray for. That God is just looking out for Blaine. Hopefully those coincide with that. Hopefully, the righteousness side coincides with super successful food trailer, and you know that's that's what you want, but that's not necessarily always what ends up happening. And I think those of us who have been through, um, those of us who have been through setbacks in our career, tragedies in our personal life, struggles in our faith, even. This isn't where I thought I was going to be. When I was a kid, even up until I was enlisting into the Army, I wanted to learn to fly helicopters and go fly for the feds. I wanted to be a federal agent. I was a law enforcement explorer as a kid. I knew I didn't want to be a deputy or a state trooper or a police officer because the day-to-day stuff, not that I didn't want to do it, I knew it was going to be too nerve-wracking. There's too many interactions that you have daily where there's an unknown that I would eventually make the wrong decision. But what happened? Why am I not a Fed? Oh, Fed. Why am I not a Fed? Why am I not a pilot? Um, because, well, when I was when I was a crew chief, when I was a mechanic, when I was in that space, I didn't get the opportunity to go to flight school. But I enjoyed what I did so much. And when I what I learned when I was in Iraq, and I was still very young, 22, 23, 24 years old. Um, one thing didn't I realized when I was in college that the college wasn't for me. And that's something that the feds want you to do. They want you to go to college. College wasn't for me. Um, I loved what I did in the Army, even though I did want to make the next step to flight school, but the opportunity didn't present itself, even though I wanted it to badly. I had a platoon sergeant that I was begging to advocate for me to get me a slot in flight school. But he was more concerned. He was unhappy with his assignment to who he was assigned to, or not that he had me specifically, but just where he was. Wasn't where he wanted to be. And so and he had his own issues. I'm not going to get into what he struggled with, but he had his own issues. He let me down on that end, and I was upset about that. And that did make me a little bitter, and I was a little cynical. As much as I enjoyed my time in the Army, I was still cynical about a lot of it. But what I did over there when I was managing um, the fleet of helicopters, um, that put me on a path to a career when I got home that I just loved. And I loved it. It took me away from what I wanted to be, but it was great. It's 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 been great. Where would I be now if I'd have gone to Fort Rucker and learned how to fly helicopters? Who knows? Maybe I would have crashed in a helicopter. I would have crashed, and I wouldn't have my kids. And what kids that I did have, what kids I did have wouldn't have their father. You don't know what happens. Where we're at right now is where we're at. And I'm not asking. And who knows? Maybe I don't continue to be a goofball when it comes to my faith instead of taking it seriously. Maybe I never get to that point. Maybe my wife doesn't get saved because of the way I acted. You don't know. God puts us in places where we're often disappointed to be there, but then all of a sudden, if we continue to try to make the best of what we got, it's mean continue to try to work to do what we're supposed to do, you'd be surprised where you end up. You'd be surprised how blessed you are. I'm just probably going to rename this stream 119 continued because we're not going to get to the other ones tonight. Blaine says exactly. Waiting sucks. We've been able to call to help but we've been able to be on call to help out at our church. Even when we didn't get what we want, we still get opportunities to do what he needs. Yes. Oh, did you learn to fly helicopters? How cool. Yeah. Look. Blackhawk repair school, UH-60 repair school will teach you all you need to know to get that helicopter to take off and fly it around. Landing it, maneuvering it with any type of finesse, completely different stories. You're not going to be able to put it back down. Or maybe you could. It's an awesome job. It's an awesome job. And here we go. GNELJ, each day is a blessing. Good or bad. I just keep going. Keep the Lord close in prayers. Thanks, everyone. Yeah. We're not closing things out, but I'm not going to be able to get to the I'm not going to be able to get to the other things because we're about halfway. We're about halfway. But you're welcome, Jenny, and thank you. Thank you. Like I thank you every night with the rest of the crew. Glad to have you here. My soul faints for your salvation, but I hope in your word. My eyes fail from searching your word, saying, when will you comfort me? For I've become like a wineskin in smoke. I don't know that. I don't know that idiom. Yet I do not forget your stance. So it sounds to me though, like even though I feel like I'm on the wrong end of things, that maybe you're punishing me, I'm still not going to abandon you. I'm not going to just give up. I'm going to do what I'm told. I'm going to do what you want me to do. Well, when you execute judgment on those who persecute me, the proud have dug pits for me, which is not according to your law. This is wrong. God, you know this is wrong. I said, this is not right. This is against the rules. All your commandments are faithful. They persecute me wrongfully. Help me. They almost made an end of me on earth. They almost killed me last week. But I did not forsake your precepts. Revive me according to your loving kindness, so I may keep the testimony of your mouth. I've got a lot that I want to do for you, God. Please deliver me from where I'm being persecuted. Right? And we might pray for a job or might pray for financial relief, might pray for love, pray for people. This guy's praying so that he doesn't get killed. I'm not in a good place, though, Lord. I'm being oppressed for my faith. People try to kill me. They're digging pits. You said, don't build the pits. Thou shalt not build pits. Ah, thank you, Thad. A wineskin and smoke shrivels up. There you go. I become like a wineskin and smoke. I become shriveled up. I become weak. Forever, O Lord, your word is settled in heaven. Yes. Yes. Your faithfulness endures to all generations. You establish the earth and it abides. They continue this day according to your ordinance. for all are your servants. This one's taking a little bit of a different approach from what we've seen. Of course, the last one did a little bit too. God save me from these people who are trying to kill me. Maybe kill them. But this one also taking a little bit of a different tack. God, you're great. You've created everything. All things answer to you. They continue this day according to your ordinance for all your. Unless your law had been my delight, I would then have perished in my affliction. I will never forget your precepts, for them by them you have given me life. I am yours, save me, for I have sought your precepts. The wicked wait for me to destroy me. They're trying to kill me again. Help me. But I will consider your testimonies. I've seen the consummation of all perfection, but your commandment is exceedingly broad. I'm in awe of your power. You great and amazing God who's created everything and all things. Your coming to into my faith has been mind blowing. This is kind of, and I will never forget it. I will never and I'm not going to forget what you've told me to do, but I need you to deliver me, because now that I'm doing that, they're digging the pits, God. The pits are being dug. Not supposed to be doing the pits. Oh, how I love your law. It is my meditation all the day. You, through your commandments, make me wiser than my enemies. Teach me, because you teach me, because I'm listening. I need to listen, for they are ever with me. I have more understanding than all my teachers. That's a little presumptuous, right? That's a little bit of a brag there. I have more understanding than all my teachers, for your testimonies are my meditation. Who is the best teacher? God, because I keep your precepts. I understand more than the ancients because I keep your precepts. I've restrained my feet from every evil way. This guy sounds like a little full of himself, that I might keep your word. I have not departed from your judgments, for you yourself have taught me. How sweet are your words to my taste, sweeter than honey to my mouth. Through your precepts I get understanding. Therefore I hate every false way. Now, sounds full of himself, but maybe this is the tack here. Maybe this is the approach here. If I listen and obey and understand, if I understand it, I understand it better than anybody, because those teachers, they're relying on you. You are the source. So if I understand things the way that you want them to be understood, I have more understanding than the ancients. I have more understanding than my teachers. I am free. The Psalms where David sounds like a kid who's finally old enough to say, "Dad, I hate this," are some of my favorite. My favorite are the ones where David goes, "Look, this dude has been a jerk to me. He is an enemy of mine. He is going to kill me, and you put me here. You kill him, God. You put it on him." David says, David has thrown some pretty serious curses. And I'm not talking about curse words, but curses, and appeals to God to do pretty pretty serious things. He's got a track record of that. Thanks, Jenny. Appreciate it. Have a good evening. Be good. But if you're taking all of this, if you take everything in that God gives us, you've gotten it from the place where it's the most pure. How sweet are your words to my taste, sweeter than honey to my mouth. Therefore, I hate every false way, and my understanding grows because of my obedience, because I contemplate, because I continually pray for that. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. I've sworn and confirmed that I will keep your righteous judgments. I love this. Because, yes, the Bible does so much illuminating if you really listen to it. Revive me, O Lord, according to your word. Accept, I pray, the free will offerings of my mouth, O Lord, and teach me your judgments. My life is continually in my hand. Yet I do not forget your law. The wicked have laid a snare for me, yet I have not strayed from your precepts. Again, we not only that, what we see as an overwhelming repetitive theme here is temptation. And that it's not easy to have faith. It's not the the world is against you. The world is going to continue to be against you, and more forcefully the more you cling to God. What do we see? Enemies, enemies. Repeatedly talk of this, and this is all again. This isn't new. We were just talking about this with David, but even outside of David's psalms, this is not new. Righteousness is an enemy of Satan. And so he is going to fight that at every step. Yet I do not forget your law. The wicked have laid a snare for me. Here we go. Your testimonies I have taken as a heritage forever, for they are rejoicing, the rejoicing of my heart. More than love, faith, obedience. I hate the double-minded, but I love your. What is the double-minded supposed to reference? Divided in heart and of my mind. Sounds like not the lukewarm, but the indecisive. The indecisive. They hate the double-minded, but I love your law. You are my hiding place and my shield. I hope in your word. Depart from me, you evildoers, for I will keep the commandments of God. This is wishy-washy. That's another one. That thank you for that. Wishy-washy. Fickle. That's a good. That's a favorite word of mine. Um, fickle. Um, this has a very much of a put on the armor of the Lord feel to it. You are my hiding place and my shield, a refuge. I hope in your word. Depart from me, you evildoers. I've got my shield back there. Um, Uphold me according to your word that I may live. Deliver me. Deliver us from evil. Deliver us from our enemies. Do not let me be ashamed of my hope. Hold me up, and I shall be safe, and I shall observe your statutes continually. I am going to continue to do the things that are righteous for as long as I live, as long as you allow me to be here. You reject all those who stray from your statutes, for their deceit is falsehood. You put away all the way. We were just talking about vigilance, or we talked earlier in the stream about vigilance. Lucy, their deceit, though you reject all those who stray from your statutes, for their deceit is falsehood. You put away all the wicked of the earth like dross. Therefore, I love your testimonies. My flesh trembles. People, righteous people, or people with a spark of righteousness, the Holy Spirit inside of them are drawn to righteous acts. I have done justice and righteousness. Do not leave me to my oppressors. Be sure, be surety. There's a guarantee. That's not even spelled right. That's a weird. You'll see this. You see this guarantee? That's not how you spell guarantee. Whatever. Do not. I'm not. I guess I'm just going to we'll set that one aside as someone I don't understand. God, please grant me understanding for what surety means. Surety? Am I what am I thinking of here? Surety. Surety. Okay. Okay. No, be surety. That doesn't make sense either. Anyway, God bless me with understanding at some point in my life. As soon as possible, please. Do not let the proud oppress me. My eyes fail from seeking your salvation and your righteous word. My eyes fail from seeking. Ah, my eyes fail. Oh, I am dying. My sight is dim for seeking your salvation and your righteous word. Deal with your servant according to your mercy. Do what you will with me, and teach me your statutes. Give me understanding. This is imperative. It is not going and doing your own private revelation of what scripture means. No, it is imploring to God that you can be discerning, that you can understand, which is what for you understanding, and do what is right and not necessarily what you want. Such a big problem in churches. People want to do what they want or what they feel like society wants from them or what their heart, which is deceitful above all things, but what their heart wants. Surety is a payment of bond. Be surety. Like I said, it just grammatically, it sounds weird. I am your servant. Give me understanding. Wait, it's time for you to act, O Lord. Oh, it is, huh? Is it time? For they've regarded your law as void. Okay. Therefore, I love your commandments more than gold, yes, than fine gold. Therefore, all your precepts concerning all things I consider to be right. I hate every false way. Your testimonies are wonderful. Therefore, my soul keeps them. The entrance of your words gives light. It gives understanding to the simple. I opened my mouth and panted, for I longed for your commandments. Look upon me and be merciful to me. Again, this is seeing righteousness and clinging to it. This is what I say. This is the response because I used to believe this, and I've repeated this before. I used to believe this until very recently, and until I realized the error in this thinking. The saying of the church is always one generation away from disappearing. That's that's saying that's taking power away from God. The church will disappear when when God deems it to disappear. Don't worry about that. Worry about don't worry about what the church is going to be other than obedient, other than faithful, other than loving. And all of three of those things. Stop worrying about if the church is going to be there. Either you'll find good people or you don't. But you don't compromise principles. You don't drift away from what is right. You don't go seeking social relevance. You don't wander seeking social relevance to make sure that the church make sure that the church stays relevant. God doesn't change. It's always relevant. It's the people who choose whether it's relevant in their lives or not. That's on them. All we can do is give them the truth and do it in the way that we are commanded to. Do I do that the best way? No. If you ever see me on Twitter, you know that I'm not the best ambassador. I could be a much better ambassador in many regards. I get angry. I get angry that people don't get it. I get angry that people attack other Christians. I get angry at fake Christians. I get angry at folks who are trying to change what God says or pretend that he says something different or that it doesn't apply anymore or that you all of a sudden something new that nobody in the last 2,000 years have thought of. You're the first one because so it must be right. You're not the first one. Just everybody else is considerate and thought it was stupid. And it probably because it was. The rivers of water run down from my eyes. I cry because men do not keep your law. Heard an interesting one today saying that people who don't have time for the church can't have much time for God. But then I asked, but what is the church? Hint, it's not brick and mortar. Yes. And yes, that's true. The church is more than just a building, way more than just a building. A building is just a place for the church to meet. However, and this might not be you in your situation, but there are a lot of folks out there who say they believe, but don't make any attempt to sacrifice anything that they want to spend time at church, to engage in that fellowship, to learn and study and be brought into and to understand that maybe they've drifted and fallen away. We need to go to church. The point being made was that if you only give up time to go to church, but do nothing with the church the rest of the week, are you really giving up time for the church? And to me, that's a little bit of what's your church's situation, right? Church, the church I've had my issues at, a small church. In order for that church to function from a practical standpoint, it needs volunteers. And if we take and take and take and take and take and don't give anything back, what does that make us? Yes. And here it is. I love this. I love this, Vertex. And now you made it clear where you were going with this, which is great. Ultimately, if the church is its people, that means we can't ignore each other during the week either. Yes. Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. Glad how that rounded out. I thought that was more of a, hey, you guys need to make sure that you're showing up to church. I didn't know where you were going with that, Vertex, but yes, great way to round that out. Thank you. Righteous are you, O Lord, and upright are your judgments. Your testimonies, which you have commanded, are righteous and very faithful. My zeal has consumed me because my enemies have forgotten your words. Your word is very pure. Therefore, your servant loves it. I am small, yet and despised. Yet I do not forget your precepts. I am insignificant, but that doesn't keep me from being responsible to do what you said. The bad guys don't listen to you. Guess what? That mainly makes me appreciate what you say even more, what you command even more. And your law is truth. Your righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and your law is truth. Trouble and anguish have overtaken me, yet your commandments are my delights. Separating things that tragedies, separating inconveniences and struggles and obstacles with the commandments. Your situation may change. The commandments do not. You may be struggling, or you may be on cloud nine. The commandments are the same. Give me understanding. There it is again, and I shall live. We only got what we got 3 or 4 more. 4 more. I cry out with my whole heart. Hear me, O Lord. I will keep your statutes. I cry out to you. Save me. I will keep your testimonies. I rise before the dawning of the morning and cry for help. I hope in your word. Again, what are these folks doing? They're asking God for things. And we might think that that's selfish or conceited or whatnot. It's not. Ask God for things. Don't be conceited when you ask. Ask with earnestness and ask with, be prepared to be told no. Still ask. Get it off your chest. Open up to God. He knows already. And that's not an excuse for you to not open up to God, because the opening up part is for you, not for God. It's for you. My eyes are awake through the night watches, that I may meditate on your word. Hear my voice according to your loving kindness. Lord, revive me according to your justice. They draw near who follow after wickedness. They are far from your law. There you go. He's being chased. Bad guys, evil. God, good guy. Commandments, the command, because I understand the commandments. I understand the precepts. I understand what you expect out of us. I understand what you think is right and good. Please help me. Please help me. I cry for help. I hope in your word. I'm hoping and praying you're going to deliver me one way or another. They are far from your law. You are near, O Lord, and all your commandments are truth. Concerning your testimonies, I have known of old that you have founded them forever. It's been the same. It's been the same always. Always. Consider my affliction and deliver me, for I do not forget your law. Plead my cause and redeem me. Revive me. So there we go. Another recurring theme. We have things talking to God. We touched on this again. Don't be afraid to ask. These guys, these people, these guys, gentlemen in this, are pleading to God for things. They are asking. And these are pretty serious situations, it sounds like they're in. Salvation is far from the wicked, for they do not seek your statutes. Great are your tender mercies, O Lord. Revive me according to your judgments. Many are my persecutors and my enemies, yet I do not turn from your testimonies. Again, we say, other people are persecuting me, other people are beating me down. That is not an excuse for me to give up what you want out of me, what you expect out of me. And because of that, I'm not doing it. Circumstances don't change the expectations. And this almost sounds like a repeat of this previous one. Last two. Princes persecute me without a cause. But my heart, oh, I'm sure the cause is you being righteous. I'm sure the cause is obedience to God. But my heart stands in awe of your word. I rejoice at your word as one who finds great treasure. I hate and abhor lying, but I love your law. 7 times a day I praise you because of your righteous judgments. Great peace have those who love your law, and nothing causes them to stumble. Lord, I hope for your salvation. Not that the Lord it will be saved, but that the Lord will grant salvation to us. I do, and I do your commandments. My soul keeps your testimonies, and I love them exceedingly. Again, this is talking about a lot of obedience, and love for God. We don't see a lot of love for your fellow man in here, but that doesn't mean it's not important. Obviously, it's in the 10 commandments. It's part of that. But I think this is more worship to God. And so that's that's worship to God. It's me talking to God. It's me pleading my case for God. It's me asking for understanding from God. It doesn't have so much to do about other people, except for the fact that some of them are digging pits and trying to kill me. They almost killed me last week. All my ways are before you. All right, last one. Tau. Let my cry come before you, O Lord. Give me understanding according to your word. Let my supplication come before you. Let me plead my case. Give me understanding. What? Give me, watch me, give me understanding. Watch me pay homage and worship you. Listen to me praise you. Let me listen to what you have to say. And I shall tell the others of this. For all your, my tongue shall speak of your word. All your commandments are righteousness. Let your hand become my help, for I have chosen your precepts. Uh oh, Calvinists. He chose. I long for your salvation, O Lord, and your law is my delight. Let my soul live, and it shall praise you. And let your judgments help me. I have gone astray like a lost sheep. Seek your servant. I was lost, but now I'm found. For I do not forget your commandments. And that will close that out. All right, folks. It's been an awesome 2 nights on one psalm and talking about other things like walks and what surety is. You guys are great. Me trying to figure out what Veritax is saying, thinking he's saying one thing, and then realizing that he's making a better point than I did. All right. Veritax, because of that, Alias, Bad, Jenny, who's not here, Blaine, who's probably streaming right now. He better be streaming. Lucy, Alex, Dresden, Texan, Carl, all you folks. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for taking the good streams. I think tonight was pretty good with the C minus streams, the C minus streams like last night. Thank you for your understanding. You guys are great. And stuff like that from just saying hey or amen, or like Veritax talked about with this whole breakdown of making time for your fellow Christians, your fellow brothers and sisters in Christ. Right? But all of it's great for the stream. All of it's great for the channel. All of it's great for folks who are listening. So thank you. And to those folks that are listening, appreciate you coming in. Please consider, if you can, being part of the chat. Love to hear from you. But I'm just glad that you're finding something of value out of this that keeps you coming back. To everybody catching me on replay, as always, sorry I didn't get you live, but I hope to catch you live soon. Everybody have a great night, and God bless.